Hello my friends, you're listening to Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. I hope everybody's well. It's been a while since you've heard from me. I've been nursing a 3-day hangover after England, fresh from beating Germany, beat Ukraine 4-0 on Sunday. I hope everybody had a happy 4th of July. Given that we didn't have an episode of Happily Ever After on that day, I'm taking the opportunity to catch up on a few other of our cast. I haven't been down by Brandon and Julia for a while, so I thought I'd pop round. Last time I spoke about this couple, one of my subscribers said, "Can you please be kind? Can you be kind just for a day?" Oh, of course I can, but unfortunately that day is not today. And the main reason for that is because I've been subjected once again to the ridiculous outpourings of Julia. Want to hear what I think? Thought so. Just before we begin, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, make Ebird a happy Ebird, and also please don't forget to like the video. We've got a lot to get through, so without further ado, I give you Brandon and Julia. So quite a lot's happened since we last saw Brandon and Julia. Most of it boring, so I won't talk about it. But finally, they're looking to move out of Ron and Betty's work camp. So we first catch up with this couple and they're driving along in the car. And for some ridiculous reason, Brandon's wearing a black polo neck. I remember when I bought Mr. Ebird a polo neck. He's yet to wear it. So she lets us know that she's booked in an appointment to see an apartment that she absolutely loves. Unfortunately, she didn't bother to find out how much the apartment was. She asked Brandon for advice and Brandon said, well, it could be $800 a month. Brandon, when your story first came to my eyes, I looked for apartments for both of you in Richmond and the very cheapest I think was $900. Well, not the cheapest, but the cheapest halfway decent one. So the chances of it being $800 and Julia likes it are very, very slim. You've got two Hopes on that one and Bob Hope's dead. And so they meet with the agent and they walk into a beautiful apartment. They walk around and it's quite minimal, but it is rather spacious. It's 3 bedrooms. There's a his and her sink in the bathroom, which is quite nice. And Julia's eyes are wide. She's like a little child saying, I want it, I want it, I love, I love. And before they even ask, it's very clear to me they can ill afford this apartment. And guys, I couldn't help noticing that the walls were made just of breeze blocks, which were painted white. Must be a design feature. It looked quite nice anyway. So when they finally asked the estate agent how much it was, he said it's $1,800 a month. She repeated it several times. $1,800, $1,800. Yep, that's right, Julia. Dollars, not rubles. Brandon did say, this is a beautiful place, but it's far more than I can afford. It's more than I'm looking to pay. And she said, well, if we both have a salary, it's not going to be that bad. Well, you don't both have a salary. Only Brandon does. And when Brandon told her it was too expensive, she said to the estate agent, thank you for making my dreams. And then to Brandon, thank you for breaking my dreams. Oh my God, you guys, she's so dramatic. Is this one apartment your dream? I thought your dream was to be in America and to be with the one that you love. I hadn't realised your dream was an apartment that you didn't know existed until 10 minutes ago. How interesting. And so for good measure, Julia thought that she'd start moaning. Yep, I find that always helps, moaning. Moaning can get blood out of a stone, you know, Julia. And she said to Brandon, I can't tell you how tired I am living with your parents. Brandon, you need to step up like a husband. And I've got to say, I feel sorry for Brandon. He knows good and well if he signs the lease, it's going to be all on him. And whether she can pay anything or not is of no consequence. Also, we already know that Betty and Ron are not happy with the idea that they might be moving out, or that they're even thinking of moving out, so they're not likely to help that much financially. So if they fall on hard times, they're pretty effed. And into the mix. Julia let us know earlier that her apartment in Russia was $100 a month. So given that state of affairs, if they do fall on hard times, I can't imagine that her dad is going to be able to send any sizable amount of money over. The Ebird found perfectly nice 2-bedroom apartments for £1,000 a month. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. Julia, you need to rent one of those. And so the next time we see this couple, Julia's making good on her promise of getting a job. She's found herself a job interview. And she's driving in the car with Brandon. And she said, are you going to come into the interview with me? And he said, well, of course I'm not. Is it an interview for a wedding planner, I hear you ask? No, it's not. Julia's interviewing to be a dance teacher at a gym. And so the next segment shows Julia telling us just how difficult and just how hard it is to be a dancer. And she appears to be self-taught because she said she just loved dancing and her and a friend would go to clubs and she started up a little business just by going in and asking if she could dance and they said yes. Brandon lets us know that he thinks perhaps Julia's dance style is too sexy for what the gym wants. You don't say. I've got exactly the same feeling. And so she walks into the interview and the guy seems really nice and he said, you're here for the teaching position. And she said, anything, teacher, trainer, dancer, cleaner, I'll do anything. And that's what I like about Julia. She's really keen and eager and she just wants to get her foot into the door doing anything. I suppose at least she doesn't want to be an actress, journalist and model. And so Julia asked her interviewer, what is it you want from me? Do you just want me to improvise or are you going to direct me? And he said, well, you're going to be teaching strength training, using dumbbells, and you're going to be strengthening the lower body muscles. So it's going to be a combination of strength training and dance. Oh guys, when I was watching this, I knew it was going to be good. Julia puts on her transparent high heels and off she goes. I can't believe it. She started off swaying her hips from side to side and tapping her hand on the hips. Then she went into a whole section of voguing. She then slut dropped to the floor and gyrated on the floor for a moment. And then she managed to pull herself back up all the time, gyrating her hips. Unfortunately, the guy had a mask on, so I couldn't see what his face was saying, but I pretty much know he was fairly surprised. It really did make me laugh. So when she'd finished, he said, that looked great, but we really need to minimise the going down to and gyrating on the floor. It's a little bit, how can I say, risque. That's the least of it. And then he said, well, you would not just be doing these dance moves, you're going to have to teach people. So how would you be at teaching? And she said, of course I can do. And guys, this is kind of a bugbear of mine because a lot of people who think they can do something think that they can teach it just by dint of the fact that they learned it. And a lot of people don't realise that the art of teaching is a whole skill in itself. Now, as you know, when I had my businesses, I had training academies all over the UK, and I consistently came up against people that would apply for positions and they'd never taught in their lives, and they'd be like, well, I can do it, so I should be able to teach. Not necessarily. Some of the most competent people at doing something are the worst at actually teaching others to do it. And I also find that if you're a natural at doing something, like dancing, it could be that it comes so naturally to you, you don't even know how you do something. You just have the ability to see it and do it. Not everybody does. And so she had to teach this guy how to do the start of her dance. And the truth be told, I think she was just freestyling, so I guess she just decided to teach him any old thing. And so she put her hand up and then she slid it all the way down her body and he copied her. And it was quite a comic moment. It was actually quite funny. But then at the end of the interview she said, how did I do? And he said, well, you have to be able to teach. No shit, Sherlock. Just what the Ebird was talking about. And then he told her that in order to work in the gym, she has to get some sort of certification and she needs to go online, choose whichever certificate she wants to do. She needs to do the course, then she'll sit an exam, and then when she has her permit, then she can come back and potentially get a job. And poor Julia, she seemed very downhearted and very let down over the whole thing. And she said to production, oh my God, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with this country? I have experience. All I need is for you to give me a chance and I'll show you what I can do. Why I need to go and learn? Why do I need to have a certification? And she said, I understand if I was going to go and be a doctor, why I'd need a certification. But why should I need a certification to work in a gym? Oh, because, young lady, somebody could rip a muscle, stretch a muscle, put their hip out. And you wouldn't know why they've done it, what they were doing, or how to even prevent this from happening again. That's why you need a certification. And so that's where we end things for this week. So what does the Ebird make from all of this? Two things. One, Julia needs to set her sights a little more reasonably with regard to where they're going to live. I feel that she puts a lot of pressure on Brandon. And although he is a bit of a stick in the mud, and if you left it to him he'd probably be at the farm forever and a day, he has agreed now to move out and they're in the process of looking. So why, when you see something which you think is perfect, yet it's double what you could potentially be paying, why should he jump at the first thing that you've seen? Also, she keeps saying, when I get a job I can help to pay. But obviously you don't just want to pay all of your money out in rent. I can tell that Brandon is very, very pragmatic. So he's going to want to save a certain amount so he can get a deposit together for a mortgage. So why spend the whole of your salary on rent and not have any money left over to put into a savings plan? So yes, I do think that Julia is becoming more and more childlike. She wants a 3-bedroom apartment. She wants to move out immediately, even before she's got a job. She goes to see apartments when she has no idea how much they're going to cost. And then there's this whole permit to work in a gym scenario. Of course you need a permit. Julia did a design degree, so I very much doubt that biology was a part of that. So she needs to know the systems of the body, cardiovascular system, the muscular system at least, maybe even the digestive system, I don't know. She needs to know about different muscles, glutes, quadriceps, calves, hamstrings, all of that. If she's going to be doing lower body strength training, all of that she will need to know in detail. Actually, I have quite a good friend who's a PT, and her knowledge of biology and nutrition is extremely in-depth. And it's also quite interesting that she said, "What's wrong with this country?" Julia, if somebody falls down during your class and hurts themselves, if somebody pops their hip out or pops their knee out, the gym's insurance will need to cover their medical bills. I'm quite sure they won't be able to get insurance unless everybody that works there is fully qualified. It seems to me that you're self-taught, and I think that's why you need to actually get this insurance. And so for you, it would be quite a good idea to get this training just to solidify your knowledge. Anyway guys, what do you think? Did this amuse you as much as it amused me? I just found it so funny when she was training that guy to do the dance. I really thought he was a good comic turn. But do you think that Julia is just ever so slightly childlike? I want to believe that she's an adult, but the more things that happen, the more I think she is actually just a child. And she doesn't think through any of her dreams. She just gets by on a wing and a prayer. So guys, let me know what you think in comments down below. And then also I'm going to do another, and then also for my other video this week, for 90 Day, I'm either going to do Ronald and Tiffany, the story so far, or the old favourites Yara and Jovi. So if you're in favour of Ronald and Tiffany, put a heart, and if you're in favour of Jovi and Yara, put a smiley face down in comments, and so I'll know who to cover. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Just before I go, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share. If anyone you think would enjoy this video, share it to them as well. And I'll see you very soon with another video. Thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to Ebird Online, and I bid you good day.